Now you may wonder why I put grease in that gearbox. It's actually supposed to be for gear oil. Well, that bearing right there is leaking. The last guy that owned this property fed his cows and left his baling string on his bales, and it wrapped around that seal and wore that seal out, so it started leaking all the oil out as soon as I could put it in there, you know, when we run it. So I believe that that grease will last as long as I'm going to use it for sure. Let's hope so anyway. We're fixing to get started. We got to dig up some more blueberry bushes, and we're going to plant a whole new row of a different variety, and we're going to take you along with us. As you can see, we got some more plants down through here that we need to dig up. We've already dug up down through this way. We sold these bushes right here. There's a couple more that we didn't sell, and another one down yonder, I think. Here's the little one right here. Right in through here, still some. We're going to dig all these up, and I might put them in another row over here where we got some dead ones, but I don't know if I'm going to have time for that. I may just dig them up and throw them over on the burn pile over there, and we'll burn them at some point. We got to get them dug up so we can plow this back up in here, get some more pine bark in here, and we're going to put some more bushes in this, and it's going to be a different variety than what we had before. These are going to be one that gets ripe a little earlier than these. These right here are late June. The other ones are going to be at the first part of June. So got to get busy digging them up. Now that I got all this bushes pushed up and out of the way, I'm gonna let them dry out a couple days. That way it's easier for me to maneuver them around. But I get to do one of the most boringest jobs there is as a blueberry farmer, and that's the rototiller. Seems like it just takes forever to get it done. So we're gonna rototiller it up a couple times, try to get all the weeds and seeds and stuff like that we can to the top of the ground, let it sprout again, maybe rototiller it again, and then we're gonna add pine bark and stretch our lines back out, put some plants in. We'll show you how it's done. This thing's running sideways. It's going over too far that way, so I've got to straighten it up, get it back in line, and kind of leaning on a hill here, and it makes it, with it having a little bit of slack in there, it's making it drag over to one side, and I want it to be straight as possible so my rows are straight. Yeah, we'll see how that works. This ground is hard, and we've had so much rain this spring, but it rolls off this hill and doesn't soak in, and it all washes down the end of the hill. Man, that stuff's like concrete. It's not ideal soil for blueberry planting for sure. It's mostly clay, and clay is like a big pond to a plant. You know, it just can't, it holds water real. Blueberry plants have shallow roots, and they can't get down in that clay. So I'm going to have to go over it several times, and hopefully it don't tear my tiller to pieces trying to get it tuned up. Woo. As you can see, I mean, this stuff, that stuff's hard like bricks. So I'll show you what we're going to do though to make these plants do well. These plants that we took out of here, this row's been here almost 20 years, probably about 18 I guess. And it's not, this area is just not good for growing blueberries unless you actually do something to the soil. Our particular piece of ground here has clay on one side and sand on the other, so it makes it hard to keep it balanced, you know, as far as water and stuff like that goes. So we'll get it fixed though, and you'll see how we do it. And then if you have any property like this, it'll give you an idea maybe of what you can do to grow on your place. As you can see here too, these are parts of the roots of those old plants. They're hard as a rock, so we'll get some of them thrown out and busted up, and they'll dry out. We'll get them out of there so that these other ones can get started. Look right here. Look at all the little blooms on these. These are before the blueberries form. You can see the berries starting to form on the back side of it. They'll open up. Then it's a little farther opened right here. They're starting to put leaves on. Bunch of fire ants in that one. Just a little something you may not know is the only predator to fire ants is armadillo. But neither one of them are good for blueberries. first time. We'll let it dry out a couple days and then we'll come back and do it all over again. When it dries out, it'll dry out those roots of any kind of things, you know, like weeds, other blueberry bushes maybe that we didn't get dug up, blackberry bushes, anything like that. It'll dry it out and kill it. We'll probably go back tomorrow and do it again. It's going to be like 80 today, 85. Let it dry out. We're supposed to get some rain this weekend, and I want to try to get these bushes in before then. Looks like I missed a little drip line. It's all wrapped around just like that string did, wrapped around my thing. Oh. One thing about these rototillers too, if you let that grass get too tall going through it like this, it'll wrap up so tight around there you got to cut it all off with a pair of shears or knife and dig it off or something. So you always want to be looking at that thing and try to keep that thing clean, both ends. It'll take you an hour to get that stuff out of there if you don't.